Hey, what's up, wrong person? How you doing, man? Oh, you know what? I guess I'll just start on this account. I received my identification card less than a week ago. It's already... What? It's already gone missing. La mia, RJ. Hey, what's up? Siri, how you doing, man? I'm assuming this means hello. Hey, what's up, Ahmed? Good to see you, man. How's it going? Loud weekly boss upcoming. Hey, what's up, Elijah? Nothing much. Just, oh, yikes. Loud weekly boss. Oops. Just doing weeklies means good day in Manx Gaelic. Oh, nice. Haven't, you know? I guess this is sort of refreshing to see you using these like really old European languages again. I'm sorry, I'm probably not going to be talking a lot when doing weekly boss fights. It's just so loud. SFX is deafening. I know. Even to me, they're loud. RJ really making me crave Genshin. I don't want to install it right now. Gotta wait till next month so I can buy a new device. Sorry. So if you... Does this... Okay, it sounds like you are able to install it on your current device now? But you just aren't, because like you're waiting for your new one? Is there a difference? Oh yeah, that's right. Ahmed, you asked for my Nibelette stats. Here they are. I have Prototype Amber on Hunter set, on a Hydro Goblet, D0 because I'm not a whale, and Crowned Normal Attack Talent. Just realized that I have an OP build for Nibelette on my main, but no, but no Nibelette. How interesting. All right, sounds like someone's excited to get Nibelette on one of their accounts. Manx Gaelic's not that old. It's just nearly dead because of English. So, you know, it is old. I mean, I didn't say it was that old, but I just said it was old. And Cornish are almost dead in Britain because of English. Hydro Goblet and 40k HP. Well, you know, there was Hydro Resonance, of course. It's the final countdown. Yeah, you know, I like always when it comes to new big patches, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous because like a lot of new stuff to do. And a lot of new stuff that I have to get used to. Oh, I keep forgetting that I have C2 Yelan now. Hey, what's up, Abstract? Can't wait to 100% in the first day. I probably won't do that. No, I likely will not be doing something like that. But you know, I as long as it's not as much content as Inazuma and or Sumeru, I will probably get it to 100% sooner or later. Sooner or later. Not on day one though, but yeah. Prototype Amber. Yeah. Prototype Amber as well. Same goes to Irish Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic, and Welsh. Where we're almost dead because of English too. Because I can't get Nevilette. Waiting for C2 Kazuha. Looking at Pyro Archon. After that, I might just go for Homa. Oh, you have Hu Tao there, right? I don't think you should go for Homa anymore. I mean, like, if you have an R5 Dragonsbane. If you have R5 Dragonsbane, I don't think you have to go for Homa anymore. Especially if you don't have a lot of EM in your substats. But if you do have a lot of EM in your substats, like you have something like 400 EM with Dragonsbane, then in that case, yeah, I think Homa, especially if you're with Dragonsbane, like your crit damage isn't super high, like it's only at around like 150. Then yeah, I think Homa. Like if you have like somewhere around 150 crit damage and like 400 EM with Dragonsbane, then yeah, Homa certainly will help you out. But if it's like, if you have somewhere like 170 or higher crit damage, and only around 200 plus, less than 300 EM with Dragonsbane, I think you should just stick to Dragonsbane, especially if it's R5. English killed off languages, which is saddening. It's not necessarily English, but it's Hollywood. Hollywood killed off those languages. Hollywood and capitalism. You got Hollywood and capitalism to blame. RJ, I got another game I'm interested to play in on my PS5, and it's called Until Then. And the gameplay is really called the game's literally called Until Then. Oh, okay. Wait, I feel like the name sounds familiar. I might have heard of it before. I was glitched in the whale domain. I was fighting it and came up, so it glitched me into the sky. Oh, that's happened to me at least once too, yeah. Sumeru is a pain to 100% since school started at the same week. Oh, that sounds awful, man. And like, plus the fact that Sumeru was like, so number one, there's just so much stuff in Sumeru. Number two, everything is like so intertwined and locked behind each other. Like Dendroculus, like there was a bunch of Dendroculus locked behind like under a mountain that you couldn't get to unless you did like certain world quests or like you did full exploration of everything. So I didn't even want to bother with Sumeru. Of Huta and Homa is also Arlecchino's highest damage weapon. Oh, really? Damage healing. Homa? Even more than her weapon? Want to hear something interesting about a Natlan soundtrack? Oh, what is it? Hey, what's up, Sino? How you doing, man? Oh dear, I made a mistake. Come on, I gotta wait for it crystallize. There you go. Of course, and all my droplets expire. Hey, what's up, Luap? Good to see you, man. It's all imperialism's fault. French and Spanish killed off a lot of languages too. Imperialism, yep, certainly. Well, I guess it all boils down to greed. And I know that some of them, greed was not the source of it. It was the thirst for progress, right? Like for some of them, but mostly it was greed. But hey, without that greed, we wouldn't have this comfortable life that we have nowadays, right? We would have, I don't know. I don't know what the world would be like if everyone just kept to themselves way back then. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Game shutting down in 2 weeks. What does the title mean? No, 5.0. 5.0, man. Look at this. See? 15 days. 15 days until 5.0. Do I have the condensed resin? Let's see. 21 hours from now. I have this. Okay, so let's see. Our journey to find our missing sibling will take us to Natlan, our next destination, when version 5.0 happens soon. Yep, of course. You know, I'm not even excited, nor am I anxious. Hang on. 10 plus 6. Okay, no, I'm gonna have to condense one more. Okay, I'm not even excited for like Natlan Archon quests, because it's probably gonna be a lot of just, oh, here's some new information that you could have found out, but psych, not really. Your sibling's still out there. The abyss is still a mystery. We still don't know what it is. Isn't that what happens? Like, that's been happening since Inazuma. It's been happening since Inazuma, hasn't it? Sumeru, you're like the doctor, Wander. Oh, sorry, not Wander. Scaramouche. And then, oh, we found out about this and this and that. And then, like, not really. No, it doesn't mean anything because like nothing's been confirmed. It's more like this and that. So yeah, you're still, you know, where you're at. And okay, Fontaine. Fontaine, same thing. Okay, Fontaine was a little cooler. We found out, like it's confirmed, right? Like, okay, so I guess it was confirmed in Sumeru, the existence of the primordial dragons, but that was like towards the end of Sumeru. That was like here, yeah, when this was released, and then like Fontaine, we literally met one, and one became playable. Um, but then like how close or far we are to, getting back together with our sibling. We finally got to talk to our sibling, and we were like, oh hey, like like we could do this, we could do that, we could work together and stuff. And then like all of a sudden, oh well, once this domain like gets erased, like this is like a domain that's like something in time or whatever. So once this is gone, nobody will remember anything. So like what was the whole point of that? I'm done with getting excited when new Archon quests and Traveler quests come up. I'll get excited when when actual news drops. Like when we actually move forward in the story. I'll get excited when it's like confirmed. The game wants us to finally find missing sibling, and I can't even see how many zeros that is. But yeah. All PCs and mobile. Rip. I wonder in like okay, if Genshin still exists in year 2030, I wonder like what will the story be by then? And like will we just keep getting new regions indefinitely? Like forever? Cuz like I don't think they would want to do that, but at the same time they also would want to do that. So I don't know. And like I don't think they would want players to play a game that's like 300 gigabytes or 450 gigabytes on PC. At least I don't think so. I mean, obviously they also have an incentive to allow players to make players do that, but like, who can play at that point? On mobile, it'll probably be like 300 gigs. No, maybe not 300. 300 is a stretch, but maybe like 150 gigs on mobile. About to pull a high 3 moment. What high 3 moment do you mean? Sorry, I'm not a high 3 player. That's just a sibling. You have to also find your mom and dad. Oh, that's like... That's... Okay, you know how like Genshin Impact... sorry, not Genshin. Honkai Impact has the word third in it? Like, maybe... Who knows, right? Like, wasn't... Maybe there was like a Honkai Impact first and second. And that was like... The main character looked for their sibling. And then like their mom and then their dad. Right? So like, are we gonna get like a Genshin Impact second and Genshin Impact third? And then like at the end of Genshin Impact, we find out we have a mom? And then like Genshin Impact second version 1.0 comes out. And then the whole quest starts all over again. I bet the siblings working for the Fatuyas Snezhnaya. Probably not. But as far as I can see, like I think the Fatui and the Abyss both have different goals, like slightly different goals, but they have the same enemies. So like, yeah, I don't know, because I've never really seen any evidence of the Fatui being like, hostile towards the abyssal stuff. In fact, they seem to be, I don't know, like embracing abyssal stuff, right? Like abyssal power and stuff. This is immune to hydro. That's an issue. But we haven't, at least as far as I remember and I know, um, the abyss stuff, like the abyss people, I don't know, don't seem to be. They don't seem to be using or needing, like they don't seem to need anything from the Fatui. But the Abyss dudes seem to be really interested in using Conrayan technology, and the same with it's same with the Fatui. They seem to be really interested in Conrayan technology, but it's like, at least to what it looks like to me, the Abyssal dudes don't seem to need anything from the Fatui, but the Fatui seem to need something from the Abyssal dudes. Oops. Need to go to sleep now? Gotta make tomorrow more productive than today. Hey, good luck, man. Thanks for stopping by to hang out with us for a bit. Good night, man. Take care. Burned out of the game. About to pull up all this story from another perspective. You mean High 3? You used to play High 3? Geo Yelan or Chibi Zhao, still taller than OG Zhao. Sorry, who's Geo Yelan? Who's that? One of the new Natlan characters? Genshin's been really quiet lately. I mean, I guess I understand. It's the end of a patch. Typically happens every later part of a version update, especially because it's right before a very big update. Oops, didn't want to do that. I should not have pressed that skill. Used up a bit of time that I didn't really want to use, because that means my droplets are gonna expire. It's like scenario if Yelan had Geo element and Zhao as Chibi. Oh, I thought you were referring to the new Natlan characters. You guys ever wonder? Some college students got addicted to gacha games so much that they don't want to come out of their room, especially when they play the whole Hoyoverse games. Wuthering Waves. Wonder some college students. Are you saying like? Are you asking? Do we ever wonder if, or do we ever wonder why, or what? Because if it's do we ever wonder if? I'm sure, like it doesn't. It's probably not college students, but like maybe there are. But yeah, it's oddly specific why you like you you know that you specifically state college students because like that could literally be anyone. Because I saw a lot of them. Oh, okay. I mean, it's understandable, especially in today's age, where like the world has gotten like quite prosperous to a certain degree, right? Like the wealthy people, there are a lot more wealthy people nowadays than there were a long time ago. And like why people tend to say nowadays that like things are worse than ever, like economy, etc., because like so that's because like the gap between the rich and the poor have just gotten so big, like a lot bigger than it's ever been. But there are, I'm pretty sure like there are a lot more rich people nowadays than there were in the past, and that means that there are a lot more people, therefore potential parents that are well off that could continue to provide for their children regardless of how much of a degenerate they are and how much of a social reject they are, and like right, like no matter what they do, those are their children, so they're going to continue to provide for them no matter what they do, even if they like give up on school, they give up on life, like there's nothing you can do about it. Right? Especially because there are more people nowadays that are more likely to be able to afford such a lifestyle. Waste of time to me. I mean, like the fact that you mentioned got addicted to gacha games so much that they don't want to come out of their room. Like that's already a waste of time. But then again, waste of time could be subjective, right? Because like, let's say, okay, if I was born to let's say Bill Gates, right? Like if Bill Gates was my dad, would I even need to do anything? Like realistically, right? Like why do we even work hard, right? Okay, to make something of ourselves. Okay, cool. But then like what if you just don't have any ambitions? Okay, what other reason is there? Okay, survival. Well, okay, I got that covered. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a waste of time. Like could be very different in that kind of person's perspective. Waste of time could be I'm already here on Earth. I might as well do whatever I want because I don't need to do stuff that most other people need to do anyway. So if I'm only gonna be here on Earth for like a limited amount of time, like I don't know, however long I live on Earth, if I can afford to not have to do most of the stuff that like most of the stuff that most people need to do, then I might as well just keep doing whatever I want the whole time. Like you know what I mean? Like it's in the extreme examples, like in extreme scenarios, like it becomes subjective. That's what we call hiki, hikikomori in Japanese term. Means people who hid in the room too much and never come out the room. And ultra antisocial. Yeah, that's a very that's certainly a very common thing in Japan. I recently saw this like a very short documentary on YouTube, um, of what? Did you see that? It just said teleport waypoint unlocked. Where?
メルジーヌはフォンテーヌが
What?
誇る美しき生命体
Oh, because of this? Oh, okay, okay, okay. The event. Okay, a combat event. Alright, alright. I was so confused with like, what teleport waypoint? What is this? Is this some secret? Anyway, the short documentary I was talking about is about some internet cafes, like yeah, internet cafes in Japan, where you could basically stay there for life. I mean, like some people literally live in these places. They like I guess like they do their job, like they have they have like a work from home kind of setup. Like their job is something that they can do remotely, and they just work there. They just work there, and like even some people like who do actually have like an actual job, they just choose to like they go home to these internet cafes and like and these internet cafes are they're not even like you know, for example, in the Philippines, most internet cafes, like especially the large ones, there's no like dividers, there's no blinders between each unit. Like everyone is just like in one giant like super long table. But in these internet cafes in Japan, like everyone has their own room, and like each room is also pretty like it's obviously it's a very small living space, but it's also like pretty big for a like you know like I guess a room, like a private room for an internet cafe, like where people literally live there. And like there's even space to like slightly like lie down, although you have to curl up, but you can actually lie down in there. And there's also snacks inside, and it's man, it's nuts. Like I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, like for society. I mean, like obviously, like the easy answer would be it's a bad thing for society, but there really are these people who just are uncomfortable with going out and like interacting with other people, and like these people that live in these places, they're comfortable here, right? These are their comfort zones. And like I don't know, I'm sure they're probably not the happiest that they could be. I'm sure they could probably be a lot happier like if they spent time with family, if they I don't know like if they found a significant other and like spent time with them and then like had a family at some point. I don't know. I don't know. Like I know there's like a difference in culture and like what people in like to do, and like how much joy they get, like and it's not because not all people are the same, right? Like obviously we have different cultures, and like along with these different cultures we have very different mindsets, um to where a couple of years like no not a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, like somewhere around like 10 to 15 years ago, I heard from somewhere, like from someone, like just I don't know, just some hearsay that like they read somewhere that people in Japan, that a lot of people in Japan actually admit and agree that, now obviously not everyone admit to and agree that getting into a relationship and or potentially having a family one day is a hindrance to them. Like if they want to develop something, right? Like if they have like a passion project, like a self project, or like their project is like to keep growing their career or something, that like having a family is to them a hindrance. And I guess like if you think about it, family does take up your time. Like you know, when you could be just focusing all your time on like whatever that one thing is that you are super passionate about, or like your like that life goal that you have, like growing your career or whatever it is. But then so okay, I all of a sudden like Ultron came to mind. You know, like Ultron from the Avengers 2. Yeah, the Avengers 2. It was this scene where Ultron. Who was he talking to? Talking to? I think. Oh, it was Wanda. It was Wanda and. What was his brother's name? Quicksilver. The twins. I don't know. The Maximoffs. It was when the Maximoffs first talked to Ultron. So he described like he oversimplified like the life cycle of a human. Right? We were born, we grow up, and then like we get old, we we have children, and then like these children that we have ultimately are like we make them in order to, I guess, to help us end ourselves. Right? Like, and I guess it kind of makes sense. And then like society and capitalism, right? Like it just gave us a one way to, what's the word I'm looking for? It just gave us a way to not have, not need to have our children help us, help us, like, I guess, towards the end of our lives, right? Like for, like, I don't know, like home for the elderly, right? Like these elderly homes, or like if you are rich enough, if you are well off enough, then you could just hire like, I don't know, a caretaker, right? Like you could just hire a caretaker to basically like do what it is that most people's children probably used to do a very long time ago, like when their parents get super old, which is basically just help them out in their last few weeks, days, months, or years of life. Man, how did I even get to this topic? Oh man, I mean, like, I guess, okay, I guess like it started off with like the thing you said with hikikomori, and then like the college students that you were talking about that won't come out their rooms because like they're addicted to gacha games and stuff. Man, it's all connected. It's all connected, as Aang says. Aang, in the episode The Swamp, Avatar: The Last Airbender. In the episode The Swamp, Book 2 Earth.
少しはまともになってきた。闇来たる破滅の時がカウントダウン開始。私は下げず。いいだろう。私に挑む資格を認めてやる。いいだろう。私に挑む資格を認めてやる。
I'm like at the edge of being hikikomori and a normal human being. Aren't we all, my friend? Well, most of us. I think a lot of the typical Genshin player is probably in a similar situation. Obviously, there's a lot who aren't, but I'm willing to bet that a big majority of the people that play Genshin are in that same boat. You know, I think if I didn't have a family, if I didn't meet my wife, I think I might have been exactly what that is. No, really, truly. Like I really don't know. If I never met my wife, man, what a different life I would have had. Cuz I never like after college, I don't know. After college, I probably would have never man, I probably would have never taken the plunge to go to Cebu and go find a job, and like probably would have never gotten a job at a call center. I wouldn't have the career that I have now. I mean, like there is also a chance that I might have just continued to pursue my career, you know, like to keep going with the major that I took up in college, marine transportation, and either I'd be like, I don't know, either quite successful financially or rolling in debt because I wouldn't have like any financial responsibility. Therefore, like even though I would be earning a lot more, I would also have spent more than what I earned because of not having said financial responsibility. So, or I'd be dead. Like it's one of those. And by like I'm not kidding. Like really, I could like you know if I'd gone on to work on ships, right, become a seafarer, I could have been like yeah. There's a huge possibility that I would have been dead already because like it's really like working on a ship is really dangerous, man. Like the tiniest thing there could just end up getting could just end up getting you crushed, like or burnt or suffocated or cut in half or losing a leg, an arm, or a neck. It's kind of nuts. I mean, I don't know. Like, I am kind of curious though. Like, I would love to be like, like the Marvel series, like The Watcher. Or sorry, no, what is it called? What If? Yeah, yeah. What if and like be like the Watcher, and like I'd wanna like ask him, hey, can you can you let me see like a different universe where I never met my wife? And like I don't know, I'd just be really curious, honestly. Oops. Little too early. Little too early. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? I really just I don't want to deal with this. I just don't. I hate this. This is so ugh, so cringe. I hate this. What do I even raise? Like I got nothing I want to raise. Like I have a bunch of locked artifacts that I really only kept because there's a potential that they could be useful, but not because like they have potential to be good. Plus pirates. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely pirates. You're not even allowed to bring weapons because you're crossing international waters. Oh yeah, definitely. Like if you want like weapons on a ship, like to protect yourself from pirates, you would actually have to hire like a security agency, and they'd have to have like actual people like on the ship, like while you're going through like whatever it is your agreement is. Like whatever location is part of your agreement with the security agency. So sad that people normalize this kind of behavior. Sorry, abstract. I haven't been able to follow yours in the series conversation. Well, what kind of behavior are you guys talking about? About partying too hard, drinking too much? Kids nowadays? Well, there's a lot, so I'm not sure exactly which part of the kids nowadays you're referring to. Like, really, I really do think there's a lot. Shall I pull for Yelan or Child? Oh, definitely Yelan, Stella. Definitely Yelan. Child's a punching bag. Oh, hey, Chokoshu. You're here, man. How you doing? How you feeling? How you feeling? How's the family? I think... Yeah, I still remember the last time you were here. Running out of primos for my ultimate luck. Hey, as aren't we all, man? Aren't we all? Oh man, too early, too early. All good now? Wow, that's actually surprisingly fast. Sounds like you have a healthy family. Really sucks to get sick and can't do dailies. Oh, dude, I don't even care if I'm sick. I'll do dailies.
難攻不落前に
Tried theater, cleared Act 3. For Act 6, not enough characters. That's alright, man. You'll get there one day. You'll get there one day, Stella. From what I remember, your account is young-ish, I believe. At least as far as I remember. I think the virus that gets into the house is pretty strong. Not your normal virus, I guess. Oh, you know what? That was actually what I wanted to say last time you were here. Because, like, you said you got sick, and then your entire family. That does not sound like a normal cold to me. That sounds like a viral infection. You know, like something along the lines of like of COVID or something. Or like the flu or COVID or shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? At least a variation, a variant of COVID.
貸したし 貸したし
What the heck, man? I can't because I got a fever too. Oh no, like I don't care. I don't care. Like I will do it. Like, okay, I am. You know what? I'm gonna stop talking about this because I have the worst mouth ever. Because like every time I talk about something good, like something that has to do with luck or RNG, IRL, not Genshin, but IRL. Actually, you know what? Even outside of IRL, even in video games, even in digital stuff, I have the worst mouth ever. Every time I start talking about like how good I have something, the opposite happens. Like, not immediately, sometimes immediately, but sometimes very soon. Like, it's just like I'm gonna stop talking about this. I'm not even gonna talk about what I was about to say. I'm just gonna move on from this topic. Like, I hate it. I was about to say something good about myself, and then no, I'm not talking about it. It's gonna turn out to be bad if I talk about it. I'm gonna stop thinking about it even. Omicron? Wasn't Omicron just a... Omicron was just a variation, right? Like, wasn't Omicron just a variant of COVID? It's like doxing by karma. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. My mortal frailty can't stop me. I'm gonna do dailies. I'm gonna use my resin. Oh no, my resin's capped? No, like, you mortal virus, you cannot stop me. Something when I first came to your channel, I couldn't guess that you are Filipino because your accent is very different from most Filipinos I encountered when speaking English. Yeah, it's the... So it's not uncommon for a Filipino to not have no, hang on. Let me put this together properly. It's not uncommon for a Filipino to not have to not have a Filipino accent when speaking English, but it's also pretty common for a Filipino to have an accent. I mean, like, even me, like, when I listen to myself sometimes, like through like a VOD or like my own recording, I still like, not often, not always, but like I still kind of often hear like the Filipino in there. Not all the time though. It's mostly whenever I'm tired. It's mostly whenever I'm tired or sleepy or drunk or whatever. Is like the Filipino comes out. There's a hard Filipino English, and there are fluent ones like soft English. Like so one thing I've noticed is most okay. I don't think I can be considered racist by talking about this because, like, obviously we're all Filipinos. But so one thing I've noticed, and a lot of people that I've met, that, throughout my life also agree with, is a lot of Bisaya Filipinos, and by Bisaya, by the way, means like people who were born. Sorry, not just Bisaya specifically because like there are so many languages in the Philippines. They're not even just dialects. I think like if enough researchers were actually like to study Philippine language enough, like they might actually get into like debates and stuff to ultimately decide that these are not languages, these are just dialects of the Filipino language. But because I don't think there are enough researchers that that I guess study Philippine languages enough. So at least, for now they're called languages. Like there are so many languages in the Philippines that what I've noticed is like most Tagalog
メルジーヌはフォン
Filipinos
テーヌが誇る美しき生命体だ
seem to have a harder time in
決して傷つけ
getting
たり
rid
しない
of the Filipino accent when speaking English. That's what I've noticed. Because like I've worked in many call centers throughout my life, right? And I've also worked in call centers in Manila, and I've worked with a lot of Tagalog Filipinos as well. And I have never once met a Tagalog Filipino be able to speak in English without an accent. Like I guess like it's what? Actually, Never mind. Scratch that. I was about to say, except for like the most like highly educated Tagalog Filipinos that I've met. But no, actually, like I've met quite a few like highly educated Tagalog Filipinos, and like even they can't get rid of the Philippine accent when speaking English. Tagalog, Visayas, Cebuano, many more. Yeah, there's Ilonggo, there's Waray. Dude, I don't even know. Like, there's like a couple more, at least like 3 or 4 more that I might have like heard in passing in the past, but like I've never really needed to ever talk about. So that's why I don't remember them anymore. But there's so many. Hey, what's up, Tabish? How you doing, man? What's up? Hey, Mighty, good to see you. At least foreigners can talk to anyone in the Philippines without worrying. Even some low-status people can speak and understand a little English. Oh yeah, definitely. And like the nice thing too is like the Filipino accent is actually not a hindrance to English. Like it's hard to explain, but like for example, what's a good example here? Like the Chinese or like the Japanese or the Asian accent, right? Like Japanese, Chinese, and or Korea. Oh, those are immune to hydro. Chinese, the Chinese, Japanese, or Korean accents, like they make like if you are not fluent or like you are barely able to speak English, you're just naturally your accent just makes it extra difficult to understand you. Whereas like the Filipino accent doesn't, like, at least as far as I've experienced, it doesn't seem to hinder like it doesn't seem to make it more difficult to understand English. Like even if it's somebody that barely knows English. Even if it's a Filipino that barely knows English, that barely had any education, like even if you just like you met the most uneducated Filipino like ever, and then you just got them to like repeat after you and like you said a couple English words. When they repeat after you, it would still be pretty clear. It would still be like quite understandable. When Filipinos talk to each other with their dialects, no one will understand each other unless they know the dialect. Yeah, that's true actually. That's true. And I think that's why like they're not refer like we don't refer to them as dialects. Like we just refer to them as languages because like for example in China, for example, like China has like a bunch of different dialects. Like if you spoke to someone else in a different Chinese dialect, like a lot of the words would be similar, so like you'd still be somehow able to have like a conversation. Like if most of you just used like simple words, and it is also the case in Filipino languages where like between the different Filipino languages there are some similar words, but the similar words are just just too far and few. What? Too far in between? Few in between? Far and few? I think I don't know. I don't remember the saying anymore. Yeah, there are just too few words that are similar between like the different languages. The only similar, like most of the similar words are, they're not words that come from Filipino, they're words that come from Spanish. They're probably words that didn't exist in the Filipino language before the Spanish colonized the Philippines. You know, things that didn't exist back then before the Spanish came here. Things like shoes, mirrors, scissors, like stuff that the Filipino people didn't have access to or like didn't exist for us before the Spanish came here. Right? Like the fact that the word shoe in Filipino is literally just like a slightly changed version of shoe in Spanish. Can you review my Arla? This cursed domain is making me lose my mind. I don't know what to do with it anymore. I think I understand how you feel, man. If it's just real quick, I could just take a quick look at it. Just drop your UID, Tabish. I'll take a quick look at it. Do you need help, specific? Like, do you have like a specific question about your Arlecchino? Really, because Portuguese sounds harder to me. You got a bit injured, so it's hard to type. We? You and who? That's not the right dude. Like the word pero, which means but. Is... Oh yeah, pero is the same between Bisaya and Tagalog, actually. Guys, my gears is what is that other races look down on the Filipino accent. Yeah, because like it's not okay, and I understand why, and I also don't blame them. Right? It sucks, yeah. It sucks because like Filipinos are just like Filipinos have just as much potential as like, you know, like the most I don't know, like the country in the world with the best economy, right? Like, but then I also don't blame them because if we would you play Zenless? No. I wouldn't play Zenless. I don't like the TV screen thing. Immune to Geo. Okay, I think I remember this is immune to Hydro too. But yeah, like think about it. Filipinos just don't have... How do I explain this? So let's say you're a Filipino. You work hard. You work hard through school. You get a good degree. I don't know, like let's say you become an architect, and like you're a pretty good architect too. So like your income ceiling here is limited by the terrible economy here, right? And like sure, you can just continue to make a decent living for yourself, even without going abroad. But if you want to further improve your career, like let's say you're really passionate about your career, you're really passionate about architecture, and you want to keep learning more and more like modern stuff, like more and more advanced technology, advanced techniques, and like new techniques in your field. So like that's it. Like you're stuck here. Like if you don't go abroad in the Philippines, you're just gonna be. That's it. Whatever you know now, that's all you're gonna know for the rest of your life. Right? So that means like a lot of these, a lot of Filipinos actually just go abroad, right? Like, and let's go back down to people who are slightly less educated, right? People who just graduated college but weren't able to pursue their career, like the major that they took up in college, because I don't know, like they had a kid and they had to like they weren't able to work for like several years, so and it gets a lot harder to pursue your career if you take a long break from after graduating college, especially here in the Philippines. I know that it seems to be a little less of a hindrance in other countries, but here in the Philippines it's basically a death sentence for your career. Like if you graduate from college and then like you get a good career, like let's say you graduated nursing, you graduated um I don't know, architecture, and then like you have a kid, and then like you don't pursue your career for like I don't know 6 years, 7 years, and then like all of a sudden your kid's in grade 1, and now you're like, okay, I can leave him at home now, right? Or like he needs a little bit less of my time. That means I can start to go back and pursue my career. It's like there's almost a 0% chance that you're even gonna be able to pursue that career anymore. So at that point, you're left with very few choices: either get a local job, or go abroad, get a job that is completely unrelated to your major, right? Like I don't know, like go abroad and work in a factory in China, or work in a factory in Japan or Korea, or work in construction in Dubai. Um, what else? Yeah, right. Like those are your choices, right? Like those are most of your choices. So you're going abroad to another country where you get exposed to all these other people in their cultures, and you're a level 1 worker. You're a level 1 worker. Like for example, even in your home country, a local there, right? Let's say I'm Filipino. I look at a construction site worker here, or I look at a factory worker here. I look down on them, right? So like it's the same thing, because most Filipinos go abroad because there are no opportunities here, and they end up being a level 1 worker in those countries. And people in those countries, because like they're level 1 workers, whether they're Filipino or not, they would still look down on those people. And that's sort of like how it ends up being this case, like where, oh, you sound like you're Filipino. So immediately the stereotype is like, okay, you're this like level of person, you're immediately looked down upon. Where is Tambish, or what was his name? Tarnish? Somebody who asked for a Arlecchino review earlier. Tabish, you still here, man? They usually will go those Southeast Asian countries to learn English. Singapore first best at English, and the Philippines second, Malaysia third. Well, Singapore, I think, in Southeast Asia, has the best education overall, I think. Yeah, so it's not just English, but like education, period. So it's not hard to see why they would be the best at English either. In my university, they asked to start doing CS, customer service. What kind of CS is this? Then I remembered Fontaine's Fish Mecha. How about doing this as a project to balance the ecosystem? What? I'm confused. So what kind of project? Abish, you missed it. Oh, your UID. Okay, yeah, I'm looking for your UID actually. It's hey Tabish. It's also possible. Okay, no, I don't see any of your messages. Oh, there it is. There it is. I found it. Okay, okay. Sorry, I was about to say that like if you only typed your UID with nothing else in the same message, YouTube often flags that. And like YouTube thinks that somebody is sharing like a phone number or like a social security number or something, and then they immediately flag it and like don't show it to anyone. Yeah, but it's fine. Like yours came with like a long message, which I'm stupid enough to completely ignore for some reason. Okay, where is it? Asia. Yes, Tabish and pronunciation. No offense. Just a quick review. Okay. Arlecchino, you seem to know exactly what you're doing. C1 with her weapon. It's your circlet, man. I'm sorry. I couldn't ignore the circlet. I was looking at your different pieces. I was looking for like any stats that were like wasted or like any potential for improvement. And I was like, okay, saw your circlet. And they're like, okay, it's your circlet's fine, but like the 18% defense is like yikes. Ah, that kind of sucks. I hate that. I mean, at the very least, it's good. It's a good circlet, but still sucks that 18% defense could have gone all the way into crit damage. Yeah, I mean, like if you hate that domain so much, man, I don't know, like you could just stop farming it, really. At this point, I don't think there's any reason for you to keep farming. Arlecchino, like, okay, so obviously your crit ratios, they're pretty good, but you probably think that, well, I've seen someone with like more crit damage or like more crit rate or like more attack or like with more EM or something like that, right? Like, that's probably what you think. But then like Arlecchino just has high enough multipliers that she doesn't like, you don't have to build your Arlecchino as well as the best Arlecchinos you've ever seen for her to do good damage. You know what I mean? So, like, even if you feel like this isn't the best Arlecchino you've seen, because Arlecchino's multipliers are just so high that you don't have to build her as well as the best Arlecchinos you've ever seen for her to do good damage. So even if you build a little, like, quite a bit below that, she will still do good damage. I keep forgetting what I'm trying to fight. Oh, okay, okay. Is she alright with this crit ratio? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, like, that's the wrong domain. That's the wrong domain. Saw a lot of Filipinos here in the Netherlands. Yeah, and that's like there are so many Filipinos abroad because there are no opportunities here in the Philippines. Obviously, there's a lot more Filipinos here at home because it's actually really hard to go abroad as a Filipino. And it's mostly because of this, like, the Philippine education system is pretty good for how cheap it is, but it's just not very good. And I say that, like, and I can say that because I see a lot of people from Africa, especially from African countries that come here to the Philippines for education. And I think that is mostly not because Filipino education is good, but it's good for how cheap it is compared to like what education they have available over there. Now, I don't know anything about the education over there, but at least that's what other people seem to think, and it makes sense. Philippines is a melting pot. We can be Eastern, Western, as it can be. I used to try to impress a Chinese-looking Filipino with my Mandarin, but he was Filipino. That's funny. Actually, yeah, you're right. Like, a lot of Filipinos do actually look very Chinese. That's mostly because they probably are quite, like they probably have a lot of Chinese in their genes. There are actually a lot of really, like, really, how do I describe it? Like, highly Chinese Filipinos? I don't know. I think that's the appropriate way to refer to them. Also, whenever you meet a Filipino abroad and you see them as like, and they look like they're a tourist, they don't look like they're abroad because they're working. They're rich. They're rich, yeah. Like, I mean, they might not be like millionaire status rich, but they're either like anywhere from middle class, like decent middle class, to rich. So that really Chinese looking Filipino that you met, that like they were probably like, sure, they were probably Filipino, but they were probably mostly Chinese. There are many Chinese that do quite well here in the Philippines. It's mostly, I don't think it's, I mean, like, obviously, I think it's because, like, the Chinese are just really, like, they just have a really strong drive. Like, when, I think, when they set their mind to something, like, they have a goal, they will do, like, they will hard focus on that thing until it is achieved. And even when it is achieved, they will keep going that direction as hard as they can. And now, that in and of itself isn't enough to become successful. But that, in the context of the Filipino environment, the Philippine environment, leads to success. Because Filipinos just don't have that. Filipinos just don't have that drive in general. Obviously, there are some outliers, yes, but most Filipinos are just not driven enough or not disciplined enough to keep pushing forward, like to stay focused on the goal until they reach it. And that's why most of the rich people here in the Philippines are either Filipinos that have been rich for a very long time, like their family, they've been well off, like from previous generations, or that they're Chinese. Obviously, there are some Chinese here too that are also having a hard time, but in general. Okay, don't need to condense till tomorrow. And main account. Yes, computer science. Oh, okay. Computer science to give ideas. I searched about the fish mecha. Its main purpose was to remove junk and clean polluted water bodies. I decided to do this as a proposal project to reduce water pollution and maintain the ecosystem. It sounds like your proposal is something akin to... Sorry, I don't know any of these, any brands of this thing. I know there's like, hang on. I'm looking up. Some well-known brands. Okay, apparently, all right, never mind. A couple of years ago, I remember there was like this one, like basically only one brand who like had the major, like the whole, at least like a big majority of the robot vacuum space. So basically, it sounds like that's what your proposal is. It's basically a robot, algorithm-driven vacuum for the sea, or a pond, or I don't know, some body of water. And I mean, it's not. It's, you know, I'm oversimplifying it, but I think it's a good idea. You know, there is actually already a company that makes something like that. It's for a pool. It's a pool cleaner. I remember LTT made a video of it before. And I think, yeah, I think the idea is good. It's a very niche idea. And like, I've only known of one company, like ever, that's in this space. So I think it's a good idea. I think it's a very, like, okay, look up, hang on. Maybe I could look it up for you.
This.
Oops. Pool cleaner?
My.
Beatbot. Aquasense? I don't know. Like, what company is this? Beatbot, apparently. Okay, yeah, Beatbot. Yeah, look up the company Beatbot. BEAT bot, BOT. And the name of their, I guess their headline product is the Aquasense. Yeah, try looking that up. That's basically what you seem to be proposing here, or like thinking about. And it doesn't just clean the surface too. It can clean the walls and the floor of the pool, and like the water in general. Getting project ideas from games are so cool. Yeah, I mean, like, and not just games too. Like, you should also try looking up some sci-fi movies as well. Yeah, like, it's sci-fi, really. Like, sci-fi is basically where a lot of people get a lot of ideas from. Low pay, high requirement jobs are so prevalent here too. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, here's an example, right? To work as a janitor, to work as a janitor, you need to be a college graduate over here in the Philippines. To work as an office clerk or a cashier, you need to be a college graduate. It's really stupid. It's like, I don't know, like, it blows my mind. It probably, like, people abroad, when they find out about that, like they'll think it's stupid too. Like, stupid might be the first word that comes to mind for them too. Because, like, why in the world do you need a college education to be a cashier, to be a janitor? Like, it's really hard to get a job here if you have no college education, or if you didn't finish college. Even if you did get into college, but you didn't finish it.
少しはまともになってきた。闇来たる破滅の時がカウントダウン開始だ。いいだろう。私に挑む資格を認めてやる。
Oh. Oh wait, okay, that was close. It's crazy. I know, right? I know, like, think about it. That you just wanted to work a cashier? Like, what does a college education have to do with working as something as simple as a cashier? Or even, so here in the Philippines, we have, I don't even think there are like self-checkout groceries here. I'm pretty sure there aren't. There's like, if there is, there's probably like only one in the whole country. But we call the there's obviously like when you work at a supermarket and there's no self-checkout, like you need somebody to bag your stuff, right? And we call those as bagger boys. And like they won't take you if you don't have a college education, if you didn't graduate from college. The only way you could work a job like that without a college education is if somebody puts in a good word for you. Like if you have like somebody high up in that business already, in that company, that helps you out. And even then, your career ceiling is already like limited. It's already like there's already like the ceiling is already low for you automatically. Philippines is doomed. The most pressing issue here is not even the failing government, but social media. Why am I here? Why am I here? Yeah, and it's not just that too. Like, so most of a big majority of the Philippine population is basically addicted to video games and social media. And that's all that a big majority of the current population cares about. Whether you are you come from an uneducated background or you are actually well off. Right? Like let's say you're in your teenage years. Like no matter, even if you're born to a rich family or a middle class family or a poor family, you're likely going to be addicted to video games and or social media. Now, granted, the more educated bunch are more likely to at least like turn it around at some point, because they will have like they have social pressures like from their family that will incentivize them to work hard to pursue their careers and like make something of themselves. But as for everyone else, nah. There's no hope. Woo! 100k! That's a spicy. That's a spicy Hu Tao charged attack. Charged. I don't think I've ever heard of the word charged said in an Italian accent before. So that was awful. Oh, alright. It was still hitting me even though it was dead. And finding who will be the meme of the month is on the internet. Yeah. Well, isn't that the thing in the West too? Like, there's no meme of the month because like the West's like their internet just seems a lot bigger. Like there's so much more. Like there's so many more like niches like in the Western internet. In the Philippines, they're just the internet, which is just social media. That's basically all there is. But like I don't know, it's a very similar thing to the West as well. It's at least a guarantee to get a job after. Oh, is it at least after the degree? That depends, and I think it's the same like in most places, right? In the Philippines, it's a little easier to find like a really low paying job right after college. It's a little easier, I think, to find like the lowest paying job possible. And but when I say low paying job, that also like I'm also not saying like it's a dead end job. Like whether it's a dead end job or not is completely up to you. Like whatever kind like you could see that it's. I mean, like when you're young and immature, you probably won't understand these things. But like someone older will see that, oh, this is a dead end job. But I think it's a little easier to get a job here right after college, as long as like you're aiming for like the bottom of the barrel, like level 1 worker and stuff. But going back to stuff I talked about earlier, if you take a break for some time, for at least a year, like even just 1 year off, like after college, you just don't do anything for a year, it's gonna get significantly harder to find a job then. Like even if you're just aiming for the lowest paying job ever. Okay, here's an example. I mean, I can use myself as an example in this situation, honestly. So, okay, I have a job. Well, technically, I don't know. Like, I don't really have a job. Technically, it's like I guess self-employed. But for and like even until now, I'm kind of like strapped for cash, and I've been trying to look for a job, like an actual job, just something to do, like a job that I could just do from work from home, right? A work from home kind of job. And I thought, well, I have a lot of experience in this, and I have really good English, so I thought, hey, maybe I could apply as like a virtual assistant. Like maybe, I don't know, like how hard could that be? And then I tried, and then I tried, and I kept trying, and it was like I don't know. It's really hard. Like I haven't gone one, and honestly, when I was still like let's say 2012 through 2015 through 2016 17, the first company that I leave one call center, the next call center I give my application to, they call me immediately. I get interviewed, I get a job immediately. But that's not the case anymore now. In fact, I realized, oh wow, I thought this would be a lot easier. So, and like in fact, I was actually actively avoiding applying for another call center job, because I knew the call center industry already. So I thought like, okay, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, and I was like, okay, I was pretty confident like that I've got enough experience, so I'm pretty sure that I'm like at this point I wouldn't say I'm overqualified for a basic call center job, but like I'm highly qualified for a call center job, so I might as well like try for something higher, right? And okay, that didn't work. So at some point, it started sending applications to call centers as well, and like I don't know, it wasn't working. Like nobody was biting, right? So like taking a long break here is like a death sentence for your career. And now, I have some ideas as to why. I think it's okay. The Philippines is population is still going up, right? Which means birth rates are still up. And the fact that birth rates are still up means that it's like every end of the school year, every year, at the end of the typical school year, which is around March, there's going to be a huge flood, like of people sending in applications. And this goes into economics, right? This goes into economics, and by economics I mean like economic like studies, like talking about birth rates, population, etc. And yeah, because birth rates have not gone down, instead they're still going up. That means every year employees have an overabundance of employee prospects. So they are not afraid to reject highly experienced individuals because they know that fresh graduates, there are still plenty of fresh graduates every year because birth rates have not gone down. Now, most local businesses will not be thinking about the Philippine birth rate has not gone down, so I don't need to hire this really expensive, highly experienced employee who probably needs little to no training to do this job, and I won't have a headache in dealing with because of his experience. I'd rather just wait until March, because there'll be a bunch of people sending in their applications who I can pay minimum wage, maybe even less than minimum wage, and I could just train for I don't know, a couple of days, a couple of weeks. And then in a month or two, they won't be as good as this highly experienced worker who I would have to pay twice as much, but they'll be good enough for the job. And then that ties into a lot of things as well, like Philippine standards, right? Like Philippine quality standards for both products and or services is we don't really strive for very good. We sort of just strive for good enough, right? And remember what I just said, where I don't want the best worker. This is sort of the mindset of your typical local employer. I don't care about having the best worker. I don't care about having a seamless experience because this employee that I hired is highly experienced and I'm paying top dollar for him. I'd rather just pay minimum wage and have a little bit of a headache for good enough work. That is the quality mindset, the mindset of quality here in the Philippines. And that's why, despite the ever-growing population, the Philippines has never really become a manufacturing country, right? Like China, for example. So obviously China has its big other big advantages, right? For example, the huge population, the country is huge, right? So there are many potential sources of natural resources, right? A lot of mines, a lot of whatever other natural resources humans need nowadays, right? And the Philippines does have that as well, but obviously not as much as China. And it has population, but not as much as China. And that's why, China. Plus, now on top of that, China is obviously, China in general is not known for aiming for very good quality for a little higher price, right? Instead, at least from what I could see, they seem to be concerned about, okay, how am I gonna do this business and earn money and not go under? And they're very good at that. They're very good at that. Let's say, for example, okay, this is my budget. This is how much I want to sell. This is how much I want to earn. And they can they seem to be very good at adjusting their quality. They can go really high in quality, but they can also go really low in quality, whether it's services or products. Now, they probably can't go as high as like the well-known countries of the world that had like the highest quality manufacturing, but they can go pretty high for a lot cheaper. But they could also go really low, like almost like basically as low as you want. As like they will try to match like how much you're I don't know, like you're demanding from them. And the Philippines just doesn't have that. High, like there's no high. There's just good enough and garbage. Yeah, that's it. Like anywhere from garbage to good enough. And by garbage, I mean like they give you a try, and then they realize this was a waste of time. We're going somewhere else. Like okay, a lot of Western companies are pulling out of China. They're not coming to the Philippines. Like the Philippines has been a very long time like ally of the United States, but no, like they're not coming here. Instead, they're going to Vietnam. They're going to India. They're going to like Malaysia. Like no, they're not coming to the Philippines. In fact, okay, here's another one. So is actually some Western manufacturing happening here. In fact, in the tech space as well. I believe it's Toshiba, who also, by the way, recently pulled out from what I remember. Yeah, they completely pulled out of the Philippines very recently. There is Texas Instruments. Yeah, Texas Instruments, American company, but they do not make their highest end chips here. They make their like the most basic low end chips here. The type of chips that go into devices that don't need high end chips, like vacuum cleaners, cars. What else? It's not like daughter boards for certain devices, speakers, stuff like that, right? Like chips that go into devices that don't need the most high-end chip ever. And that lines up well with what I said about the Philippines. Philippines, when it comes to like quality, like the standards of quality here are either good enough or waste of time. I checked. Since I use PyroRes, I have two options: 2K attack with 85 195, 2.3K attack with 81 185, 81 185, 2.3K. What should I use? This cursed domain. Honestly, I think I would just go for the. I don't know. I'm biased. Like I really like consistent damage. So like. If you could maintain the same crit rate between the two builds, I would go for the higher attack, lower crit damage. But because it's a lower crit rate as well, I would personally go for the higher crit rate one. Lower attack, higher crit damage. But that's me. I'm just biased. I'm biased towards like I just really prefer more consistent numbers. In fact, like you won't see a lot of people. You won't see a lot of people like that play Genshin that run characters like with crit ratios like mine. Like most people. Okay, so obviously I have festering desires, so this is fine. Right, so it's like 63. Right, like most people, you'll see a lot of people run like a 55 crit rate with like 220 crit damage. Oh, I'm on my Zhongli as well. Yeah, right? Like, look at that. 70%. Like, you'll see most people running their Zhonglis at, like, 55, like, and try to reach, like, 210, 230 crit damage. So, like, same with Mandevilla, etc., right? So, like, I'm just very biased towards more consistent numbers. But it's up to you. Like, if you like seeing bigger numbers, even then, I'm not sure which would be better, like, 10% crit damage or 300 attack. I think that might have to do with your team. If you're gonna be running Arlecchino in a team with Bennett, I think the 300 attack doesn't matter as much because you're getting a lot of attack from Bennett already anyway. So I think the crit damage might be better in this case. But if you're running a team without Bennett, I think the higher attack might be better. But that really depends. Like, I would recommend testing it out yourself. Arlie, Bennett, Chevrolet. Okay, well, Bennett, yeah. I think I'm more inclined to go with the lower attack, higher crit rate, crit damage one. Show me Farina stats and Navia too. I do not have Navia, Stella. These are my Farina stats. With Festering Desire for Golden Troop, and I have C2. I don't know. Well, why? Really? I don't know what got into me. Like, for some reason, I just had the urge to C2 Farina on this account, but not on my other accounts. The addiction kicked in? Probably. I mean, okay. Oh, you know what? I think it was a product of circumstance. Because, like, at the time, there were no rumors or hearsay of characters that I wanted that were coming in the next patch. And at the time, I just so happened to have a bunch of primos saved up. So I was like... In fact, like, there were rumors of who were going to be rerunning and releasing in the next patch, and they were characters that I didn't really care about. So I think that was why. It was a product of circumstance. And the thing is, like, if I were to only look at the surface... Oh, hey, what's up, Bozan? How you doing, man? If I were to only look at the surface, I would probably be regretting the decision to C2 Farina. Because, like, if I were to look at it only on the surface, like, I would just see that, oh, Farina, like, the only thing I got from C2 is, like, Farina just does a little bit more damage than, you know, if I didn't C2 her. Or, but then, like, I don't think anyone would notice the difference. Anyone would notice the difference between, like, C1 or C2 Farina versus C0. And by the difference in damage, I mean not Farina's damage, but, like, the damage done by the characters that you're supporting with Farina. That's not what I want. Yeah, because, like, Farina's damage comes damage buff rather, like, the DPS overall DPS that you get from Farina's buff, because it's spread out throughout the team, it's almost invisible. Like, you can hardly notice it, and, like, the only time you'll notice it, like, the only way you'll be able to notice the difference is, like, when you set up a timer in your, like, combat runtime, like in Abyss, or if you actually set up your own timer. And I think that's the only way to detect the difference between C1 and C2 versus C0. C2, though, you'll certainly see, like, a difference in Farina's personal damage. But as for, yeah, versus, like, the buff damage that you get overall, I think it's almost invisible, and the only way you'll be able to see it is, like, if you actually set up a timer. Or, like, in Abyss, you'll just feel like, oh, enemies are dying a lot faster now. Fine, what about you? Pretty good, man. Pretty good. My neck and shoulder seem to be getting better. Now I have a different problem. My forearm, like, some of my muscles in my forearm, my left forearm, are, like, I think they're, like, really strained. And it's not like the forearm muscles. They're just muscles in the forearm, but I think they're mostly the muscles that are connected to my fingers. Yeah, most specifically my ring finger, my middle finger, and index finger. And, like, they seem to be super strained. Oh, this is immune to Electro. That's the wrong team. Okay, let's go with Dendro then. Yeah, they seem to be super strained, and I don't know how to, like, what I should do, because, like, I can't work without using my left arm. I have to use my left arm. Now, I think one of the biggest causes for like my really strained for these really strained muscles is
無事今日は
StarCraft
依頼
Brood
を
War.
達成しま
I've been playing a lot lately, and for the last couple of days, I've taken a break from it. I'm hoping that it is enough to like get the strain down. Like, I don't know like how to describe it really. To I guess relax the muscle enough. Even though I am still using it quite a bit because of work, but I'm using it way more when I play Brood War. And like today, honestly, it started to feel a lot better today, earlier today. And then I was like, well, it's starting to feel better, so like maybe I'll just play one chill Brood War game. And then I did, and then it started hurting a little bit more again after. So I was like, all right, whatever. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to truly stop for a while. Even playing Genshin, like even now, like obviously I'm using my middle finger, ring finger, and index finger. So it's like whenever I stream, that means I'm playing Genshin for like a certain amount of time. And it kind of hurts, really, kind of hurts. Lost 50-50, or what we say in Weapon Banner. Got Harp, and now it's 1/2 Epitomized Path. With this, 1/2 carrying the next Weapon Banner. No, it does not carry over. The what is it called? Epitomized Path? Yeah, no. Yeah, Epitomized Path does not carry over. Only Pity carries over. Someone said something about RSI. Hope you don't have RSI. What is RSI? It sounds familiar. Is that like some sort of wrist problem? Relative Strength Index? Is that what it is? Yeah, abstract. What does RSI mean? Is Weapon Banner is daylight robbery? Oh yeah, certainly. It is. It is. I mean, isn't that basically the gacha industry? I mean, like, think about it though. It was so much worse back then. Epitomized Path did not exist. So the weapon banner effectively had no pity system. Like, sure, there's there's a pity system for when you get a 5-star, but there was no way to guarantee what weapon you got. Repetitive strain injury? Oh, I see. Well, I certainly hope I don't. But if I were to get something like that, I think this is it. It doesn't, honestly, it doesn't feel like a discomfort anymore. It feels like an injury. It feel like sometimes it feels, I wouldn't say it's debilitating yet. I certainly hope it never gets to that point. But very often recently it's been distracting enough so that like I can't help but like pause when I'm working for a bit to like move my arm or shoulder around. It feels like an injury. So like I certainly hope it doesn't get worse. And I'm certainly gonna try and I'm gonna do my best to avoid playing Boudoir until I'm fully recovered. But man, Boudoir just feels so satisfying to play, man. I know I'm not playing at like obviously like I'm playing at amateur levels because like literally I'm just playing with bots. I'm playing with bots, playing the same game every time. In fact, I don't even start up a new game. I just load up like a saved game every time so that it's the same exact setup. I'm in the same exact location on the map and all the enemies are in the same exact location. So basically, yeah, like I said, I'm playing the same exact game every time. But it just, I don't know, like it's satisfying to me. It's satisfying to me that because I'm playing the same game every time, it's basically every time I play it, I'm getting more and more practice in that specific scenario. And like obviously, I play like an amateur, but I'm playing at like 200 plus APM, and it makes me feel good about myself. Makes me feel like, oh man, I'm playing good, even though like the practical side of me knows that not really. But yeah, it feels satisfying. Maybe one of these days I'll stream. I'll stream one of the I'll stream Brood War, just one game maybe, but like not now while my arm is like this. Like I got it when playing Osu and God. Osu and God, what's that? Almost every moment my fingers hurt a lot. Osu sounds like a Korean thing.
全部丸見えね
Osu's a rhythm game? Oh, okay. Wrong place. Oh, apparently it's midnight already. Oh, I just realized I'm at Battle Pass 50 already. Every time I hit Battle Pass 50, I immediately sort of like my brain accepts that, oh, this version update's almost done. We're about to go into the next version update. That's like, yeah, I don't know, because typically I get to Battle Pass 50 somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks before the next version update. I'm trying to think of a better team to keep running this domain with. Can't think of any. Wait a moment, didn't I use my resin here already? I guess I did. Who would you be pulling on? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. It's kind of late here. Rumors say that it's a Raiden and Kazuha rerun in 5.0. If that ends up becoming true, I don't think I'll be pulling for Kazuha, because I already have Kazuha on all 3 of my accounts. I would like to one day get Engulfing Lightning, or sorry, not Engulfing Lightning, Freedom Sworn, and C2 Kazuha. But there are quite a few things that I would prefer to save up for in Natlan, including, but not limited to, the Pyro Archon. And I don't know of who is going to be a good character in Natlan yet. So I would like to have Primos for in case that day comes. Also an Arlecchino rerun, waiting for one. I will be pulling for Raiden Shogun on my 3rd account, because my 3rd account only has C0, and I would like to at least have C2. C3 ideally, but C2 would be, you know, at least C2. Pyro Archon 5.3. Yeah, I heard about that theory. I heard about the theory that the Pyro Archon was going to be in a 0.3 update and not a 0.2. Building strong teams isn't the one and only option. Yeah, I mean, like for, you know, for many casual players, but if you don't want to have a difficult time in Genshin, then you have to at least build like 1 or 2 or 3 strong teams. Because if you don't, then yeah, continuing to play Genshin can potentially feel really awkward and annoying and frustrating. I heard the pattern has changed. Yeah, yeah. I remember hearing about it from it's like a theory for now. At least at least that's what I heard, that it's a theory. Okay. Man, that is so copium. That is so copium. Hang on, 11.7. Wait, is that for real? 2.9, 2.7. Oh, okay. No, no, no. I'm an idiot. I think my crit rate is 4 rolls, not 3. Yeah, yeah. It's actually 4 rolls, 4 crit rate rolls, which is on average a 2.9 crit damage roll. But if it were a max crit rate roll, if it were only 3 rolls, then that would have been like 3.9 rolls, which would have been awesome. But even though I got most of my rolls into crit rate and crit damage, this is still a very copium artifact, because like dude, I got like almost minimum roll every time for everything. Like this crit rate, this 11.7 crit rate is 4 rolls, not 3, which means it's an average of 2.9 crit rate per roll, and the lowest is 2.7. Right, so it's pretty close to minimum. And 10.9 crit damage, that's 2 rolls, which is an average of 5.4. So it's basically 2 minimum rolls. What am I gonna do? I have no other pieces of this artifact set anyway. But it's still kind of it's just really annoying still that I'm forced to have to keep this garbage. Do you know the math of substates? Math? No bueno. No bueno. No math, please. Not me. I'm innocent, I tell you. There were also theories since Sumeria about triple banners. Oh yeah, yeah, like the triple banner theory has been out for like a long time now. People still talk about it here and there, but not, like I don't think there's been any news of it, because like it's just the talk hasn't gotten louder. Although the talk hasn't gotten quieter either, so like I don't know. People are still keeping hope alive for it. I heard the Traveler will not resonate with Pyro, but will get Pyro ability from the Archon herself. Oh, that's pretty cool. I also heard about that theory that they won't get a Pyro infusion. Or sorry, they won't get a Pyro on day 1. And that theory comes from like that one trailer, like that one Natlan trailer where the Traveler is in Natlan but doesn't have the Pyro element. Like if you have crit damage more than 7% initially, you'll have the chance of rolling it up to 30%. Wait, what? If you have crit damage more than 7% initially, you'll have the chance of rolling it up to 30%. Now, okay, I'm sure that's probably been proven or disproven by math, but I will say though, I have noticed that it does seem like it feels like to me that it happens more often that I get a 30 plus crit damage, an artifact that has 30 plus crit damage, if it starts with a crit damage roll that is more than 7, like a 7.0 or a 7.8 crit damage roll. I've noticed that it seems more likely that I get a 30 plus 25 or higher crit damage substat if it already starts with 7 or higher crit damage. Really copium. But hey, I guess I'll hang on to it.
水の味は実に幽怨。
I heard no cons on leveling up statue as well. No cons? What? Well, how are we gonna get constellations for Hyrule Traveler now? Sorry. My droplets expired. I'm still laughing with that 18% defense in my circlet. It's alright, man. At least it's a good circlet. At least you have high crit damage rolls on it, despite some of the rolls being wasted. Ah, man. I really don't want to, but I think I'm gonna have to strongbox. What do I want a strongbox for? I actually don't know. Noblesse pieces? Oh, I get. Okay, you know what? Wait, what? When did this happen? When did this happen? Okay, who else do I want for Noblesse on? How about VV? Okay, I guess VV. Because, like, I still don't have a hybrid Kazuha build. Okay, VV. How are these infos spreading like a virus? Where are y'all getting it from? YouTube. Some people from Reddit. Some people from Hoyo Lab. I'm gonna have to change something about the stream first. I originally added this into the Imaginarium Theater playlist, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do that anymore. I mean, is this final? Am I sure about this now? Okay. Yeah, whatever. VV. I'm still waiting for a Jade Cutter rerun, by the way. Like, I don't know. Like, so when is Jade Cutter gonna run? Right? Like, when are they gonna put Jade Cutter on the weapon banner? Is it with Albedo? If that's the case, then I don't think we're gonna ever see it again. I'm watching Bleach, episode 267. What episode? What's that episode about? Sorry, I'm not. I'm a fan of Bleach, but I'm not a big enough fan to remember which part of the anime or like which arc each episode is in. Which arc is that in? I love how you called it the scam box. Oh no. I don't have any more fodder. Darn it. What is this? No crit rate, but I guess it's usable. I don't have any more fodder, man. I don't want to... Ah, man, this is what I hate so much about strong boxing. Because, like, I have more 5 stars, to strong box with, but I don't have enough to level up anything that has potential. Ichigo. Oh, Ichigo, not Ichiko. Ichigo versus Okiura. Oh, I remember that. Comes to Karakura Town, all captains. Yeah. It's a fake Karakura Town, by the way. I think you should keep watching. That's a pretty good arc. That is my favorite arc in Bleach. Well, obviously there's, there's the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and then there's the final arc. Obviously those are really good too, but like before those, other than those, like also the what's the word? The arc when Juha Bach and his Sternritters fight the Zero Division. I love that arc too. That's like one of my favorites. But yeah, that's all. Like the one you're watching now, also one of my favorite arcs. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. I'm gonna give my arm a rest. I'm gonna give my fingers a rest. Anyway, for those of you guys who need help building your characters' accounts, making a decision which banners to pull for, feel free to join our Discord server. Links are in the description of all my videos, VODs, and streams, and in the pinned message in YouTube chat. If you want my opinion personally, you can ping me over there. My name is Elvis Einstein. Of course, you can ask for other people's opinions too. Thank you guys so much for coming by, hanging out, and being awesome people. Have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and take care, everybody. Bye, guys.